Auction with Kate Cypress, and I'm here with Juan Adams, who's coming off a heavyweight title win at Fury FC 49. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Getting ready to defend it. So just grinding.
That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. I kind of see him, but I've seen him on your Instagram. Your braids look dope, but I heard that you're taking them out pretty soon.
Yeah. I can only leave them in for about 3 weeks. Then I take them out. I mean, they're kind of fuzzy right now. It's the end of that week 3, but my braider always does a great job. I let one other person braid them one time, and it came out horrible. So I only go to one person.
Going back to the afro.
Yeah, for a few weeks. October 1st, October 1st, I'm getting new braids put in, hopefully. My braider's pregnant and the baby's due pretty soon, so I don't know when. I gotta take every appointment as seriously as I can.
Gotcha. It's been 3 weeks since your performance and your title win. How do you feel about your performance?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was very dominant. That's a guy that he's fought all over the world. He fought, Jeff Hughes, who's in the UFC right now, beat him 50-45. And I made that fight look significantly less competitive. I finished the guy and I took way less damage. So I'm I'm fine with it. I'm very happy with that performance. I think the ref let it go on much longer than it needed to, but you know, that's what you want out of a title fight, I guess.
If you could take one thing away from that performance, what would it be?
That I should probably have stayed on my feet a little bit more. I was winning all the striking exchanges, and I was just like, yeah, let's end it. I know I'm not going to take any damage on the ground, so that's where I went.
How did it feel to win that title? Correct me, but did you win it when the amateur won, or did you win that same title as an amateur?
No, I won their amateur title, and then when I went pro, I signed the exclusive deal with LFA. Then I went contender series in UFC. So now I'm in an exclusive deal with them. It has a SUFA out if UFC or a higher paying company comes by. But I'm pretty happy with Fury. They've been extremely accommodating. They go through so many opponents trying to match me. So I'm cool with it.
We kind of talked on camera, but it was extremely hard for you to get an opponent during 2020. How frustrating was that?
It was frustrating, but at the same time, I wasn't really in the spot to be fighting most of 2020. I was going through a lot of depression. I was going through a lot of things in my personal life that I was kind of coping with and just looking for things. I needed a change. And that year kind of made me appreciate fighting a little bit more because, I started working full time again, which at first was hard, but it became almost like an outlet for me, something to think about when I wasn't fighting and or training. And I can't let the fighting lifestyle consume me. It's just not good for my mental health. It's not good for the people around me. So it was a good time for me to recenter and refocus. And the money, not making money from fighting sucked, but at the same time, it taught me that, hey, even if you don't have fighting, you're gonna make it. You can pay your bills. You're gonna survive. So that was cool, and it allowed me to use a different set of skills that I've always had to use. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, and I enjoyed the growth that I had to undergo during that year. So I'm grateful for it. I'm expressing gratitude for everything right now, just going forward.
You said that after your third loss that you were kind of questioning if you wanted to fight again. I guess kind of take me back into that mindset. it was you had never really gone on a losing streak, right? And you lose your third, and I mean, like, what were you thinking back then?
Oh, it was crazy. Right after the fight, I talked to my coach that had been with me from my amateur debut, and I said, "Am I done? Like, do you think I'm done? You told me as an amateur if there was ever a time you thought I should stop fighting, you would let me know. So let me know." And he said, "No, you didn't go out there scared. You didn't go out timid. You weren't less skilled. You just got caught. It happens to everyone." I'm like, "Yeah, but this is 3 times in a row now. I got robbed of a decision up in Canada. The Hardy fight, that one was tough for me. And then that last one in the UFC, that one really broke me to a point. And to the point where, yeah, I was training, but I wasn't really, and my heart wasn't in it. I was doing it. I gained like 40 pounds. Like it was just a really bad time in my life. Ended a relationship. It was rough for me. I went through a lot after that fight, but you know, kind of rebuilding myself really, and stuff like that. It presents a lot of challenges, but it also presents an opportunity. And at that point, I looked at it as I really had to start over and rebuild myself better and even more into the person that I wanted to be after that. And that takes time. And that's one thing that COVID, provided me. It provided me with time, a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to do, a lot of time to create. And that's what I did. So now, I mean, when I go to fight, I'm nervous, but I don't have those anxiety attacks like I used to. I used to have anxiety attacks all throughout a fight camp, and I don't have that now. I don't get like that hyper nervous feeling before a fight anymore. I'm not in there, pacing, elevated blood rate, all that. None of that's happening to me anymore. And I feel a lot more comfortable when I go out there now.
So you talked about depression, you talked about anxiety, and then just kind of finding you needed to find purpose. What was that? What was that? What was the fire that lit your love for fighting again?
Honestly, it was helping other fighters. When where I was really going through it, didn't really want to fight, but I'm picking up little mistakes other guys are making, or seeing little openings in their training partners, and I'm telling these guys this and working on it, and to see them grow and to see them progress at that rate after something that I told them was really rewarding for me, and it was something that kind of showed me like you have a lot to still offer this sport. Um, and even if that's not in competing, you can go and you can help somebody else that may or may not be missing something that you can provide. So that's kind of what made me passionate about the sport again. And then when I really wanted to compete again is when, I really wanted to start, getting back into shape and, just being a healthier individual overall. And that helped a lot.
Awesome, that's awesome to hear. So, back in June, I saw on your Tapology that you were booked for 2 fights back to back. Was that planned?
Yeah. Uh, it was one of those things where I knew I needed quick fights. I wasn't really happy with my first fight back, Um, but then after that, he booked this guy and he told me, like, "Hey, I'm telling you my plan. Like, I want you to go in there and get as little damage as possible. Try and get in and get out so you can head main event and headline this event in San Antonio in 4 weeks." I was like, "All right, yeah, sure." Like, easier said than done, but we'll see what we can do. And my intention in there wasn't even not to get damaged. I was just trying to win the fight, and that was my first priority. And then the rest of it came extra. So I took every opportunity that I had, and I went into that fight thinking like I have to win every exchange. Like that's what I think. Like somehow or another, I have to inflict damage every exchange, make him not want to engage with me anymore. And I win that one in the first round. We go to the next one, and that one probably should have been over in the first round, but it happens. Then I was like, actually, I was intending to not fight again until November after this one, but we're going to defend the title. We're set to defend it October 24th. Two opponents haven't been able to accept the contract, so we're still looking for an opponent. But that's our plan right now: is defend the title October 24th.
When waiting for an opponent, I mean, do you do you have a preference? Like, do you want a big name? Do you want like a prospect? Do you want someone with a good record? What's a perfect opponent for Juan Adams?
I, I'm at a point now where it's like on the regional circuit, I truly feel nobody can beat me. No one really possesses the overall skill level that I have. So my thing is, I don't care if they present a threat. I don't care, who they are, what their skill set is, what their record is, what their name is. Like, we would prefer someone with a big record. Like, that's what I want. But just because I don't want to go out there and beat a 500 fighter, that does nothing for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But for me, it's all about just showcasing, these bigger promotions, showing them that I have a skill set. I have a wide array of skills, and I want somebody that's going to bring out the best fight from me.
Hmm. Gotcha. You fought basically 3 times in 3 months. You said that you want to fight as much as you can. I mean, is it making up for lost time, or is it just being active? What is it?
That's how I've always been. I like being active. Being in a fight camp just feels like life for me right now. I've had to change my lifestyle a lot into, I'm a little bit older, so I have to eat a little bit better, be a lot more conscientious of my time. I have to devote more time to recovery, all these things. So I'm living that lifestyle now, and, why not use it? Like, I don't see a lot of people that just work out and train every day just for the sake of being good at working out and training. You want to showcase it, right? So I want to show what I can do. So it's not really making up for lost time. It's just, utilizing the time that I have left.
Gotcha. All right. So you gonna fight in October, gonna defend that title. Um, Maybe fight one more time. If not, what's next? Like, what's the plan? Do you want to go back to the UFC? Do you want to get in that PFL $1 million heavyweight tournament? Do you want to go to Bellator? Do you want to stay in Fury fighting? What's the plan?
My plan is, obviously just to go somewhere that's going to maximize my earning potential right now. My thing with PFL is, like, I know at this point I wouldn't be able to fight until next season. So that tables me effectively for another 6 months. And that's not something that I want to do. Um, you know, Bellator, yeah, that's a great option. If they come offering, we'll obviously entertain the offer. UFC is probably my preference right now, just because that's one of the only things in life that I've done that I still view as a failure for me. Going 1-3 really damaged my ego a lot. And as much as I try to live outside of my ego, that still burns me every time someone asks, "Oh, you fought in the UFC," or "Hey, I remember you from your time in the UFC." Like, that feeling or that connotation of failure accompanies it. And if I were to go back, like, I would be about it would be about evening out my record with them. The way I see it is, like, I need to go back and win at least 2 fights in the UFC. That's what I need to do to feel, to not even necessarily feel successful about it, but to feel comfortable with where I was at in that company. But yeah, so the goal is, if I win this fight quickly, I'd like to, if one of those big promotions doesn't offer, I'd probably like to fight one more time before the end of the year. That'll be 5 fights in a year. That's a good thing. And then fight again probably around February or after my birthday. 'Cause I actually want to celebrate my birthday this year. I'm turning 30, so Um, but yeah, that's the plan.
I mean, sounds like you have it all kind of mapped out and like, you have options, right? It's a couple more things before I let you go. Saul Solis, the godfather of Texas MMA. Did you ever train with him?
No, I knew who he was. I did do a couple of workouts at his gym in preparation for a fight. Some of his guys Shark Tanked me. Um, but it's not one of the, he's not someone I knew very well, but he was definitely respected. Anyone with that level of knowledge or experience in the game, you have to pay your respect to. But one thing I'll acknowledge is like I wouldn't be where I am today without his contributions. Without Saul, MMA is never what it is in Texas, but possibly not even the U.S. Saul was really a pioneer of the sport, and he did a lot. He contributed so much to this sport in the forms of champions that he'd worked with, or just fighters in general that he trained. He was definitely a positive influence for MMA.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like his passing, and there's been probably about 3 Fury FC events since his passing. So I was just wondering, like, if there was a vibe or an energy at those events, because there's a lot of his fighters on those events, and a lot of them are just fighting for his legacy or just fighting for him. And I was just wondering, like, if you could feel that energy.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of pride that emanates from his fighters, but there's also you can sense the loss, you can sense the pain there, and it's a strange vibe because there's a reverence there for what he did, and something definitely feels missing at each of the events now when he's not there. When there's a fighter from his card on the card and Saul's not there, you can definitely tell he's missing. But um, other than that, man, it's really hard. I'm just not really like when I get there, I'm in my zone. I'm there for whatever. Like I'm not there to like talk or hang out with people. I'm there to get the job done and get out and go home. So it's different. I'm a different type of dude. Like I pick up on it, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Can't let that affect me, and let's just keep going.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And if you want to plug your social media, plug your sponsors, go right ahead.
Yeah, social media. It's Chosen Juan 285 on Instagram and Twitter. Sponsors, I've got Haymaker Coffee, Eden Nightclub, Smile White Now, New Mexico, and New Mexico Cannabis Events. Um, then MDX Global, that's a new one. Um, so that's Mike Diamond's personal security company, the Joker. So that's plug him. Oh, it's his birthday today too. So go over there and wish Mike a happy birthday if you haven't yet. And obviously, Jackson Wink, they pretty much support me. So I love it here.